Oi, this is Puju aka Darkness, and welcome back to Nerd Cave 2.0. Today I wanted to talk to you about the possibility of Jolteon being a speedster. Now, hold on. I know what you're thinking. Darkness, did Jolteon get released? Did it get leaked? Is there in the game files? No. It's not in the game files. It hasn't been leaked. But I believe it's safe to say Jolteon, as well as Vaporeon, Flareon, and Umbreon, and Leafeon will be coming to Pokemon Unite. Considering that Sylveon's in the game, when Sylveon was dropped, so okay, that's the only evolution they're bringing. Espeon came in the game, it's like, okay, they shouldn't be bringing any more, right? Glaceon's in the PTS, or public test server. And now a lot of people, YouTubers, players are wondering when's the next one coming out or what the next evolution will be. Now, the evolution so far with Glaceon in the PTS and Espeon and Sylveon being out, every single one of them are attackers, which it's fine, but it's a bit boring. Sylveon, when it came out, was completely broken. It got nerfed. Espeon, when it came out, was underwhelming. It does okay damage, but for the most part, it's underwhelming. And Glaceon, from looking at the PTS, it is going to be the same as Sylveon. In Espeon, it's gonna be okay to great after you evolve, and then close to mid game, but mid to end game, it's just gonna fall off. It just does not scale well. No matter what the numbers say, the moves that each Pokemon have, they just do not scale well. With Glaceon being the wild card, since that could change before its release. Now, the other Pokemon that haven't been released, Umbreon, Leafeon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon, all could be released, but if anything, I desperately hope they are not attackers. With that being said, the only two that I believe couldn't be attackers would be Vaporeon and Umbreon. But the speedster, out of all of those, are only two that he could possibly be it. One is Leafeon, which I know is a crowd favorite. Leafeon, I mean, look at Leafeon. Leafeon looks great. But then my personal favorite, what I grew up with, because the first Pokemon game I played was Blue and my brother played Red, was Jolteon. It was also my brother's favorite, which is why I had to change to one of the different evolutions. But I always kept to Jolteon because I love the aesthetic look of Jolteon. Now, Jolteon has two abilities: Volt Absorb and Quick Feet. I believe it's always had those abilities. It has not changed. Even in Generation 8, it has kept these two same abilities. Well, one, and then added the second hidden ability, but it's kept those abilities ever since it's been released. It has not changed those abilities at all. Now that may change come the new Generation 9, which is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but those aren't released yet. That won't be released until quarter 4 of this year, as far as for release games and finances, but that we're not even gonna get into that. So Volt Absorb. Volt Absorb, whenever you're damaged by an electric move, and you instead of heal, instead of taking damage, which in the main game, it's all fine and dandy. I mean, it is good, but I don't see that being very good as a ability in Pokemon Unite without it being changed to where it does something completely different. Now, the other move, Quick Feet. Quick Feet, it whenever you're damaged or whenever you have a status problem like burn, well, frozen's pointless because you can't do anything, but poison, so burn, poison, and we'll just use those two examples. So say you're burn, poison, etc. You get a speed boost in the main game, which that is nice because this Pokemon is a fast Pokemon. The speed stat going off the main game, it gets a max of 394. They've just like Pokemon, there's power creep. There are It used to be one of the fastest Pokemon. It is no longer the case. There are quite a bit of Pokemon that are faster, a lot faster than that. But Quick Feet, I feel like it's something we could work with, which is why I did do a mock of Jolteon being in Pokemon Unite, which I have a tab open for, which I don't want to show just yet, but I will show here in a second. But basically, Jolteon would evolve just like how Sylveon, Glaceon, and Espeon are evolving at level 4. The possibility of moves, I mean, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Thunder, the starting moves, Tail Whip, or you could do Takedown. I'd probably be pointless, but you can have Takedown where you take damage, but I feel like that's more of an all-rounder move. Tackle, Growl even, still one of the starting moves. And then if you want to get really risky, you can start going for like some of the moves that aren't in the game. So I'll touch on Thunder in a bit, but some of the moves that are not in the game, where is Shockwave, it's not in the game. Charge Beam could be really cool, not in the game. Discharge is already in the game. Thunderfang's not in the game. Thunderfang's not even in the game. I feel like that'd be a really cool move. But egg moves, and I mean, you got double kick. You can do any of these moves with the exception of Curse and Store Power and Yawn, especially as a speedster. That'd be pretty broken to be able to put multiple Pokemon to sleep as a speedster. But let's go to the mock this ability or move page I made up for Jolteon. So I made this quite a bit ago. I have it as a expert, and you'll soon learn why I made it as an expert. Supernatural is one of my Reddit names. Supernatural is because I was a fan of Supernatural with my wife. But basic attacks. Become a boosted attack with every third attack. Dealing damage. In addition, reduces cooldown of all moves by 0.5 seconds. Increase attack speed for 2 seconds. The reason why I didn't do a 1 second instead of... The reason why I did do 0.5 seconds instead of 1 second is because the increased attack speed for 2 seconds, I wanted to be able to get that boost attack pretty fast and keep that boost attack speed up constantly. Because that's the whole reason why, if you're reading ahead and looking at the page, all these skills have a semi-long cooldown. And the reason why is because we want to be able to keep it somewhat balanced and not make Jolteon extremely broken. So the ability Quick Feet, and this is the ability I wanted to use instead of Volt Absorb. So I changed it a bit to work to where you could use this in multiple ways which is one of the reasons why this has the expert rating. So Jolteon can perform a lightning dash, which goes a short distance by pressing the left stick. Jolteon can dodge sure hit moves with this. However, it has a 45-second cooldown. On top of this, if you are scoring and someone tries to hit you, you can dodge that move with Quick Feet without stopping the scoring animation.
You what?
Now, you may say, oh, that's kind of broken. I would say differently. The reason I say that is because since they nerfed, not Buddy Berry, well, they nerfed Buddy Berry, but since they nerfed Score Shield, it makes it a lot harder to have score teams or have a Pokemon focus just on scoring when you have to wait. I think it's either 10 seconds or 20 seconds, probably 10 seconds, to where the Score Shield can be activated again. Score Shield also cannot be stacked on top of other shields. That shield will be broken out of first, because before Crustle, there used to be Crustle builds where you would use your Unite move, you would get the Buddy Barrier and your shield, and teams would have to get through all of that shield before they could even touch your Score Shield. So you would have Crustles running to go score, and they'll have the one item that increases your scoring speed. It made it to where you had score teams, because people would do that. It was like, okay, cool, we're gonna run it, like, we're losing, we're just gonna run in, do this, score real quick, and then go back. Which it did work. It was used in tournaments, but now that is no longer an option. So Quick Feed is, sorry I'm going on that tangent, but Quick Feed is giving someone options like, hey, I want to score. Instead of, like, you could use it in battle. It's like, hey, I'm gonna dodge this, but say if you want to score, it's like, you know what, I want to go back, I want to see if I can help win this game, and I got the item that increases my scoring speed. So it's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. It's like, all right, I got sure hit, especially like, say Charizard Tsunami, he's about to do it, so you use that, like, oh cool, and you dodge that, and now you're able to get that score off. It's like perfect, because it only lets you dodge that move for, I think, let's say 0.5 seconds. I think that's fair. Say 0.5 seconds. Unless you dodge move, so if it's about to hit that area, if you time it right, you're able to dodge that ability just fine. And it's got a long cooldown to balance it out. So, before we talk about a Unite move, let's talk about the beginning moves. Swift. Launches one Swift Star towards the forward, dealing damage from the Swift Star, reaches maximum range or hits a Pokemon, EV dashes to that location, dealing damage. So not only does the Swift Star deal damage, the dash to the target deals damage. I think that's pretty balanced. This does not go through walls. This can be stopped by terrain, so you would have to, you can't have anything blocking it, otherwise it's just going to hit the terrain. The upgrades for the moves are Thunder Fang and Thunder. Now, I touched on, like, Thunder Fang's not in the game, so it's more so my concept of what Thunder Fang would be. Thunder is in the game, but I switched it to where it's works completely different than Pikachu. So, let's start with Thunder Fang. Thunder Fang, 6-second cooldown. It's Melee. So, what Pokemon are you? Buzzwole. So Buzzwole's not even out yet. It's currently in the PTS. Buzzwole does something similar to what this is. This is before Buzzwole. I made this way before Buzzwole was even leaked, or moves were leaked, or even saw any gameplay. So Buzzwole currently uses Leech Life, can lock an opponent down, and it leeches life from the opponent. Thunder Fang is something similar, But I'll read the ability so that way you get an understanding. So Jolteon bites a target, locking them in place for 1 second. So not as long as Buzzwole is, but it locks it for 1 second, dealing damage to the target. Once the target's released, target is then slowed for 1.5 seconds. So I'm going to be skipping ahead because I want you to understand why Thunder Fang and Discharge works extremely well together. So before I read the rest of Thunder Fang, Discharge, 9 second cooldown, and it's also a stun. So Jolteon releases a discharge of electricity. So discharges are in game, Zero hasn't. But how this works, instead of just a aura around the target, it's going to be a link. So Jolteon does release the discharge of electricity around itself. So anyone hit around itself, it's going to stun the Pokemon hit that is near. It's going to be like a small area. Not as big as Zero Auras. Now, the thing is, if you hit an opposing Pokemon, and that opposing Pokemon is near other opposing Pokemon, those Pokemon are linked by electricity for 3 seconds. And it allows Jolteon, whenever it does a basic attack, you dash to that Pokemon, whichever Pokemon in that link. So you're able to just dash around that link doing basic attacks during the duration of the link. Now, the link can be broken. First off, the link only lasts 3 seconds, and it can be broken if the Pokemon move away from each other. So basically, it makes it where, okay, we can't just sit there and group up and be a bunch of cattle. We have to actually spread out. You see a Jolteon, it's like, okay, cool. It's like he got discharge. We need to not pile on top of each other. It's the same concept as Greninja. Once Greninja gets somebody low, you start using Surf, and you just see Surf constantly. Say with Lucario with extreme speed, a whole bunch of people you just start dashing through people, doing a whole bunch of damage. So it's the same concept. The upgrade increased stun duration. Thunder Fang is, I'll read the rest of that. If used while Pokemon is in a discharge link, all Pokemon in that link are hit. So not only can you can do quite a bit of AoE damage with this. So discharge will link the Pokemon around, but they're not damaged from discharge. Just all the Pokemon that were around Jolteon when using discharge are hit, and then they link any other Pokemon that are close by a certain distance. If they're hit with Thunder Fang, all of the Pokemon are hit by Thunder Fang. So the upgrade is just increased damage to slow. For discharge, upgrade is just increased stun duration for the initial Pokemon hit. So that basically discharge allows you, like, okay, I'm gonna go to this other Pokemon, go around, basic attack, go back, Thunder Fang, stun them again. So it allows you to jump around, come back, okay, I'm gonna go back to this target, finish this target off. So Thunder is similar to Surf. And think of Thunder as Fly so Talonflame's Fly and Greninja Surf put together. So Thunder, front ability is 7 second cooldown. It's just a dash. So Jolteon jumps, which technically is going to be invulnerable because it's jumping up in the air, but it's only invulnerable for a few seconds. With that being said, why'd that stop? So weird. But anyways, Jolteon jumps and comes down like thunder in a small area. So in that small area, it deals more damage the lower the Pokemon's health is. So this can hit multiple Pokemon. It's not just if they're sitting on top of each other, it can hit multiple Pokemon. So if the Pokemon faints, the cooldown is reset. So this is what I meant about Greninja reset with Surf. Similar to that. Now, this move does not benefit from Quick Feet. So you can't, and the reason why I say that is because you'll notice after you use Thunder, imagine this was in the game. If you were to use Thunder, you'll notice that Quick Feet is, and I think I wrote it wrong. So it's not necessarily Quick Feet. It's more so the, oh, this is one of the things I messed up, which is why this is just a rough draft, and this is just what I thought. So, the upgrade though. Now this is the part I'm excited about. So the upgrade for this. So upgrade just Thunder. Not only does if you get a kill with Thunder, not only does it reset the cooldown of Thunder, it now resets the cooldown of Quick Feet, but it has a 30-second internal cooldown just to balance it out. So Thunder already does quite a bit of damage. It's basically a finisher move because it does more damage, just like Light Ball, just like Surf. It does more damage the lower the health Pokemon is. So that's why it has one of the longest cooldowns, with the exception of Discharge, just because Discharge can set up for you to do a lot of damage and just dash around and just do crazy things. Now, the second starting ability, I haven't even touched this. I've been jumping around all over the place, but the second starting ability is Thunder Wave. So Thunder Wave it's a melee stun, releases electricity around the body, dealing damage and stunning Pokemon for 1 second. It's pretty simple. It's extremely simple. So as far as for the move I have not talked about, Agility. Agility is an 8-second cooldown. It's just a buff. Now you may be thinking, but Darkness, why would I take a buff when I have a stun that I can link and just dash around? Well, good question. The reason why, let's read on. Jolteon buffs itself, granting a shield of 15% of maximum health, giving immunity while the shield is up. Now, immunity while shield is up, that just means immunity to crowd control. So you can still damage the shield once the shield's down, and you can then stun Jolteon and take it out pretty quick. But after you use Agility, your attack speed and damage is increased by 3.5 seconds. And this allows you to be able to get your boosted attacks off more, increase your attack speed. So I think you're starting to understand now what's going on. So you're constantly getting attack speed increases to reduce the cooldown of everything. So these may seem like long cooldowns, but since you're getting your boosted attacks so fast, these cooldowns, instead of being 6 seconds, are being like 4 seconds, or the 8 second being 6 seconds, or 9 seconds being like 7 or 6 seconds. You're starting to understand now of how this Pokemon works. So as long as you're getting attacks off, and that's why Quick Feet's in the game, so that way it allows you to stay in the fighting line. It's like, okay, they're trying to hit me, sure, it's like, let me go ahead and use Quick Feet, be able to get that off, use Thunder and get out real quick, or use Discharge, or use Agility to have that shield up to allow me to do more damage, get my attacks off, get my boosted. That way I can get my Thunder off, get my Thunder back, or Thunder Fang back pretty quick. So going on, the upgrade for Agility is further increases damage, attack speed, and shield is 20% max health. Pretty simple. So in regards to that, Discharge is Jesus Christ. Discharge and Agility are both very good. One can stun the Pokemon hit around it and link Pokemon to where you can dash around by using your basic attacks, and the other gives you a shield and buffs your attack damage and attack speed. and it makes you immune to CC. So both bring something very valuable to the table. One's more so to keep yourself alive if staying in the fight long. The other is more so setting you up to do AoE damage, be able to move around the battlefield, especially in team fights, very quickly. So that way, if you're being targeted, okay, I'm gonna go to this enemy just to hit damage on him, just to get away from where all other opposing Pokemon are. Now the last move is the Unite move, which is called Thunderous Strike. Thunderous Strike, Jolteon dashes 2 times quickly in an area, making a X. So basically kind of how, who else has an area move? Delphox has an area move. Glaceon currently in PTS has an area move. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I can't think of anyone else that has an area move currently, but those are 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, it dashes 2 times, just makes an area that makes an X. And it deal damage. The dashes deal damage. And then the X flares up, dealing damage and stunning all opposing Pokemon hit. The X created on the ground, so it's an area effect, kind of like Delphox. I mean, you see that it's a visual thing, but the area is a circular motion. Circular motion, Jesus. Just a circle. There's an X in the middle that pulses damage over time. And enemies in that area take damage and are slowed. So it's something you could do kind of like with... It won't do a whole bunch of damage. It's more so of a CC. So if you notice, like, oh, you can go in, you could use... So here's a... it's in there rambling again. So here's a scenario. Zapdos Pit. You're like, okay. Zapdos, like, there's a whole bunch of enemies in Zapdos Pit. You got someone sitting in a bush waiting to snipe Zapdos, as always. So you're like, okay, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. You see at least 2 or 3 enemies in Zapdos Pit. So you're gonna run in, use Thunderous Strike. Now all the Pokemon in that Zapdos Pit that are opposing are stunned. And say you take Thunderfang and Discharge. Use Discharge to stun those Pokemon. Then use Thunderfang to hit all those Pokemon again. You're doing a huge chunk of damage, and you're punishing opposing Pokemon for sitting on top of each other. So you could technically wipe out quite a bit of Pokemon that like to sit on top of each other with Thunderfang and Discharge. It's the same with how Zero Aura is. Zero Aura can punish opposing Pokemon extremely bad if they sit on top of each other. You use Discharge and your Unite move. You could wipe out enemy teams with that. So that's kind of what I wanted. That's what I wanted to talk about. This is just a rough draft that I made up of what Jolteon could be if brought into the game. I believe, and I'm gonna keep believing, that if Jolteon's brought in the game, it's gonna be a speedster. I will cry if Jolteon's brought in the game and it is a attacker. But we'll see. Until next time, stay safe.